and the distinguished Nana Kumia is here. I haven't hosted him in a while, I think it's been years. So, good morning to you, Mr. Kumia.
Morning, Roland.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
Thank you very much. And then also, Alex Segbefia. Alex Segbefia is a former health minister, is a lawyer by profession, had been chair of the NDC UK Ireland branch, decided to come and relocate to Ghana. And so he's dealing with all the issues all of us deal with. And well, as a distinguished politician, he's also helping us sanitize as far as content and then also the way we tend to undertake our discussions. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Roland. Good morning to my colleague and brother, Nana Komia. And more equally importantly, good morning to our viewers.
Great. I remember in 2016, an item, flags. What are in flags on public events where matters of political discussion? What's in your flags?
I like to think it's tea.
Okay. Okay, I'll keep it at that. It's tea.
You haven't given us water.
We haven't given you water.
Yes.
Please bring us water. Now, good morning to you, Shaddai Adote. Money, my good friend based in the UK. Sherry Giovanni, Amama Gold also. And then also many of you in Getia Patrick. Kwesi Mensa watching us from the US. Kwesi, good morning to you. Chief Mante in Akosombo, you're very close to many of the areas, even though. And then also Sister Vivian, that's your wife, Vivian Mante as well. And we have a couple of you, Joyce, Mona O.A., Daniel Sefa, Bra Kweku, and as Junior is also joining us, Evans Ibn Samba, Samuel Amwako, Angel Della, Kwejo Dallison, and then I have Boachi Mena, all of you joining me. George Kwame Nyavi also has joined us, Junior Winfred, and a couple of you. For those that I'm not able to remember, please, I'll be at least acknowledging you. When your comments also come, I'll try and read them as much as possible. But let's get to the thrust of the issues. We have what Professor Stephen Addae said, and this has raised issues. A petition by the road minister before Iyoko. This is what he said.
GIMPA, Professor Stephen Addae, alleged the high levels of corruption by appointees of the current administration.
This road contract will be given to you, provided you put 1 million upfront, or not that when you get your money. Then, and this is what Akufo-Addo must be thinking about, and if he knows about it, must be ashamed of. That now his people demand from you a certain amount before you be considered for the job. Why? Because then when they get it, whether the government pays you or not, they have gotten their money. As if people are in a hurry to loot the country before the end of Akufo-Addo's term.
He acknowledged the possibility of a rebound, but also warned that the journey would be challenging.
One of the greatest disappointments of Nana Akufo-Addo's regime is that honestly, he raised the hope of Ghanaians. Ghanaians expected that we had gotten the leader with a vision, with the charisma, with the determination. And it seems if he doesn't redeem himself in the next 14 months, he will go down in history of one of the most disappointing leaders. And what the corruption, the arrogance, they think that there is Ghana is for them, and that, you know, without them Ghana would not be there. Even some of them thinking that they should tell us who should be our next president. God forbid.
He questioned government reluctance to address the issue of brain drain, which he believes has led to a crisis in the health and financial sectors.
And following this, a press release came from the Minister of Roads and Highways, and it reads that allegations of organized crime in the award of road contract and the attention of the Ministry of Road has been drawn to a video clip in circulation in social media or in the social media space in which Professor Stephen Addae makes some allegations of corruption in the public sector concerning the award of road contract. The allegation was made by Professor Stephen Addae, a former rector of GIMPA, in an interview with TV3, yours truly. In the said interview, aired Friday, And of course, I told you George Quinn in that story. He alleged that he has information to the effect that persons seeking road contract are told road contract will be given to you provided you pay 1 million. Money na hand, back na ground. As a result of that, given that the allegations borders on the commission of crime against the Republic, the statement says the Minister of Roads and Highways, the Honorable Kwesi Amoako-Attah, has requested the Executive Director of IOCO to fully investigate the allegations. Across social media as well as mainstream media, well, the narrative is that it's not the first time that key individuals close or in the Akufo-Addo-led government have made allegations. Kennedy Ohinie-Agyapong, one of the key presidential aspirants for the ruling NPP, has been talking a lot, raising concerns. Mr. Nana Akomia, how do you react to this based on your own first observation when you saw these on social media, but also this gaining traction over time since Friday?
Okay, well, let me wish our audience a good Tuesday morning. A bit rainy, but otherwise it's a nice day. Now, I just saw the clip that you played on Professor Adai's statement. One little thing struck me in the clip that you played, and what struck me was I thought the good professor was a little bit emotional. I may be wrong, but that is the impression I got. And the reason why I got that impression was the remark that he made in the clip that you just played, where he said that there are arrogant people around who are corrupt, and they are now telling us who should be our next president, and that God forbid. I don't understand this particular outburst. That's why I'm saying that I thought the good professor was emotional. Was emotional in his in that interview that he gave. Because Roland, you and I know how we get our presidents in this country. You and I know. Every small boy or girl knows how we get presidents in this country. The political parties put up their candidates. My brother's party, NDC, they've put up their candidates for Ghanaians to consider voting as president. The NPP in the next 2 weeks or so would vote for somebody to become their presidential candidate for Ghanaians to consider voting for next year, December. The other parties have their presidential candidates. You see their posters or small billboards around. Some of the other parties too are in the process, CPP and so on. We are in the process, PPP, and some of these other parties are in the process of choosing their presidential candidates. And then they all present them to Ghanaians. And the Ghanaian electorate will vote to elect one of them, whether the NPP candidate, the NDC candidate, the CPP candidate, the PPP candidate, or whoever. So to be saying that some people are telling us who should be our next president is totally meaningless. And coming from a professor who we all respect, I suspect that he was just taken over by emotions.
You think he was rabble-rousing?
I think it was just being emotional, and because that outburst is completely needless in this presentation, that in the interview, and you just played a clip. Because really, what does it mean? What does it mean that some people are telling us who should be our president? What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything, and it's totally meaningless, because nobody can tell anybody who should be your president. We all go and vote. You understand? So who is telling you who should be your president? Our system doesn't work like that. That's why I thought that bit betrayed his emotions. But the substance of his, that there's a lot of corruption, and that he gave an instance where contracts are given upon demand of an upfront payment. We've all heard about kickbacks. That kickback means you give you a contract and you go and give somebody 5% or something. And kickbacks have become part of our political literature.
So you agree with him?
But now he says that there's kick front. Now what Prof is saying is that it's actually kick front, where your monies are demanded before you are given the contract. And that he says that all of these are instances of corruption in the system that should be fought. You know, this fight against corruption is a fight that should involve all of us, because it affects all of us negatively. Very often we have heard allegations or references or allusions, accusations being made about corruption. As for NDC and PP, really, that is their Coco and Kose.
It's their mantra.
It's what we take for breakfast. NDC would accuse NPP of corruption and will jail you, and then vice versa. And so as for the two big political parties, that is their Coco and Kose. You remember, I remember in 2008 in particular, where we were told of how the country's gold bars have been siphoned away, and how people, 8-9 people had bank accounts which were more than the GDP. I don't know if my brother was part of that collaboration.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, but Roland, you were here.
I remember. I was practicing, yes.
So how can you say you don't remember? Were you not in this country?
I'm saying that for the purpose of this conversation, I don't remember.
The man has lost his memory because of this conversation. How is that? You've lost your memory.
No, I agree with you that the banter between the two of us.
So why do you say you don't? You remember.
So you're saying it's normal?
So I'm saying, no, I'm making my point. I'm saying that the accusations and counter-accusations, some of them are very frightening. Because in 2008, for example, we all heard about how gold bars of the country have been stolen. We've heard how people have bank accounts which were more than the GDP of Ghana. We heard all these stories and how people were going to be jailed. And then, based on some of these things, Ghanaians vote for them, and they come. They go to parliament. You remember? And they said, but you said so and so and so. Oh, forgive me, it's political talk. It's not just NDC. NPP too does the same. Of course, there have been prosecutions these days. A couple of people are still in court. Some have been jailed. National Commissions Authority, COCO, some are in court, and so on. But generally, you have these accusations and counter-accusations. And many times it's even intra-party. You have NDC people accusing their own government of corruption. You have NPP people accusing their own government of corruption, making allusions and so on. The point is, largely it is left at the accusation stage. And what Professor Adai has also done is also just throwing accusation.
You think that's it?
So I am happy that the Ministry of Roads and Highways are saying that these accusations are serious. We don't think it should just remain as one of those things that is thrown about. Let's try and get, because it's only when some investigation is done that we can begin to move forward in the accusations. So the ministry has done a very good thing. It's saying that this is serious. Yoko, we beg you, invoke your powers to investigate, and let's get to the bottom of it. And I commend the ministry for taking it up because, like I said, from way back, we throw these corruption accusations against each other, and it is left at that. Many of us politicians engage in it, even former presidents. You hear them make, you had one instance where a former president and the founder of his own party on the public...
Mr. Akumi, are you saying these are just one of the many rabble-rousing that is undertaken by key individuals?
Well, I don't know if it's rabble-rousing. All I know is that the statements are made and it's just left
Because you're saying
unattended.
he's blowing hot air.
If nothing is done about it, what does it become? Hot air.
Mr. Akumi,
so in this instance, I'm happy that the ministry has referred the matter to a proper state agency to investigate.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that it becomes a trend, that when these accusations come, we invoke the powers of the proper investigative state agencies to go on to them. So if tomorrow somebody accuses me of having diverted public funds or whatever, the proper powers of the proper organization should be invoked so a proper investigation can be made. So it's a trend that I welcome, that we can now move accusations from just being things that we throw at each other into a situation where proper investigation can be done, and then we can all see to the bottom of it.
Professor Stephen Addai is a very distinguished gentleman and statesman. You agree to that?
Absolutely.
Do you know about the investigative piece that was undertaken by Manasseh called or titled Contract for Sale? ABAJ.
Yes, I'm aware.
You are aware?
Yeah.
That there were collusions, sale of contract documents for money. You're aware?
Yeah.
Okay. So you agree that what he's saying is not out of place and cannot be untrue?
Well, it will be, you said you use hot air. It will be a mere allegation if it's left unattended. I mean, Manasseh's allegations were attended to. And as we speak, those individuals are under prosecution. There's proper investigation.
They are going through some investigative processes.
If the investigation was done by Yoko or Shrag or something, the man then lost his job and he was asked to go, the matter was referred to, I don't know if it's Yoko or if it was Shrag. And as we speak, the man is before the courts. The court processes are a bit slow, but action was taken. It wasn't left as a mere allegation. And the respect that Manasseh had and the evidence that he presented merited a follow-up, and that follow-up was done. This one, there hasn't been any evidence, but from the person, that you said, the Professor Addai is not somebody that we expect to just make statements. And a statement like this that go to the use of public purse and the quantums of monies that he mentioned, it has to be investigated. And I'm happy that the Ministry of Transport hasn't just ignored the charge and that they've actually referred the matter to Yoko. Even if Professor Addai, I would wish that there would be closed sessions, because if Professor Addai, he may have a couple of names, he may not want to disclose them publicly, there'll be closed sessions so that, but the matter has to be investigated, and I'm happy about this trend. Then we can begin to be dealing with these things.
Mr. Segbefia, the narrative out there is that the government of Nana Addo has become a clearing agent. When these things happen, then they say, oh, take it to Office of the Special Prosecutor, let Yoko deal with it. And at the end of the day, individuals who are clearly appointed, fingered in key issues. You remember, there was also a concern or an allegation that former deputy chiefs of staff were collecting money before they gave you audience at the Jubilee House. You remember that?
Yes.
You put all these together and you look at what the narrative is concerning Professor Stephen Addai. We should all be worried, shouldn't we?
Extremely worried. Extremely. And I say so because of where it's coming from, or where it has been coming from recently. The MPP's recent primaries for their flag bearership has brought out a lot. And if you watch the trend in the last 2-3 months, the utterances and the actions that have gone demonstrates that a lot of people do not believe that even the process of their primaries is riddled with corruption. When you have senior statesmen of their party, like Professor Stephen Adai, because he does support the NPP, and it's very important that the point is made. Yes, he's a professional, but he has defended and supported the NPP over time. And therefore, it's a fair statement that can be made. When you have Kennedy Ajipong, when you have Alamin Tramanting, all intimating that the processes and issues that are going within the NPP begs a question as to whether people are being fair or the process is fair, to the extent where Alan Tramanting actually resigns from the party. It's not that I've stopped the contest. He leaves and resigns from the party based on activities he says he's not willing to get involved in and goes solo. You then have to put it in the context of all the historical, because when it's NDC saying it, then I agree with my brother, it's NDC, MPP. I don't remember everything that he said, but we've all been there, where NDC attacks MPP on various issues, MPP does the same. But when it's coming from your own house, people must sit up and say, well, okay. And where it is coming from as well, these are not junior members or commentators of the party. All the three names I have mentioned are senior members of the party. And the MPP has put itself in a position where there's too much of a smell, to the extent that if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it eats like a duck, the more likely than not, it is a duck. So you have serious allegations being made. And like you said, it's not the first time. Why did the former Minister of State in Finance have to resign? Because of what was said on the videotape in terms of the Anas expose. So
Charles Dubois.
Exactly. So when you have these things happening and it's being dealt with not by opposition, because everybody takes what the opposition says with a pinch of salt, but when it's coming from within at a certain level, then it's real. The MPP's record, and you see, Dr. Stephen Adai said a number of things. His statement that you are trying to get us to choose, you are telling us who should lead. God forbid. It's a very loaded statement.
How so?
Because he's completely agreeing with Alan Tramanting that the process that they are going through in their primaries is not a fair one.
You think it's a rubber stamp?
A rubber stamp. Anybody who has any political nous assumes that Bawumia has already won this primaries. Not because maybe he's not capable of winning, but because of everything that has happened prior. You have their own MPs coming on air and saying, if somebody brings 10,000, I have got 20,000 already to pay my...
The primaries?
Yes. So,
actually, it's in dollars.
Thank you for even clarifying the currency. So, if you have this type of things being said from their own house, why shouldn't everybody say that corruption fight is not going anywhere? The only good news for me that I heard was that the special prosecutor has gone to the States to confer with counterparts in the FBI to see how he could strengthen his office and deal with issues of this nature. I thought that was a relatively good story. I'm hoping that they may even consider helping to fund some of the processes and exercises that he wants to embark upon, or that office, not as an individual. And that for me is good, because we don't seem to have the political will to fight corruption. And he therefore is seen, or is therefore, that office is seen as one area, if remains independent, can deal with a number of issues. So we are just not knocking for knocking's sake. Look at the revelations coming out of the parliamentary probe on statements from Bugri Nabu and statements from IGP. I mean, the whole place is a mess. Let's not fudge it. It's a mess. And it's under a particular government. And it has all come to the fore because of who should be the presidential candidate. And so everybody's knocking, hitting, this is not fair, we are not having a good fight, Kenny Agyapong has gone. Why? He also made an allegation in the north that every constituency regional chairman was paid a certain amount of money. He was challenged.
He did.
He brought out a tape, this thing, and played it for the people around to verify what he was saying. So these are not, NDC is not involved in these allegations. This is an MPP in-house problem. And the MPP is telling us that we are corrupt. NDC is not saying, the MPP is telling us themselves at a certain level, high level, that we are corrupt and we are not in a position to deal with corruption, or we are not intending to deal with it. And all this is coming from their house.
But Nana Akumia's point is that when it comes to the whole subject about the vice of corruption,
yes,
both parties have been plagued with such allegations.
Yes.
And that the onus lies on whoever is making those allegations, however their reputation is, how consolidated or comprehensive their reputation is, to be able to adduce evidence.
I don't dispute that. I'm a lawyer. But I'm saying that the person who is making the allegation, from a layperson's point of view, when NDC comes and says, oh, MPP have done B, B, or C, you can take it with a pinch of salt. When the frog comes out of the river and tells you that the fish or the crocodile has a headache downstream, you don't take it with a pinch of salt. You can't go there and go and check. But at least you know that at least the frog has been there and is telling us that the crocodile has a stomachache and has an issue. We will take it more seriously. It is for the, eventually, you can put the frog to proof, and the best proof is for the crocodile to come out and say, I'm fine.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Very interesting analogy you're drawing.
You understand? But here we are. And it's coming from the water, and we are on land. The rest of the country is watching, and the MPP is self-destructing. Not anything to do with opposition. So we don't, there are a number of things he mentioned. One, he talked of brain drain as well, which is a topic on its own. And he also said that a very important statement he made, because that's complete indictment, that if in the next 14 months, Nana Addo doesn't find a way to redeem himself, he will go down as ... So he's actually indicted the whole 6.5, 7 years of Nana Addo's tenure in that single statement. Look, MPP have a headache, and it's not caused by the NDC.
Well, November 4 is the date they go and elect their presidential candidate. As we know, the leading individuals, particularly DMB, 2024, it is possible the vice president, according to the polls. But there have been key individuals like Kennedy Agyapong, Dr. Mwakuban, who have made very serious statements in the public, indicting the Nana Addo-led government, because all this feeds into what Professor Stephen Adai did say. Let's give you a few samples of some of these insights, and then I'll come and ask Mr. Akomia what he makes of this, fully indicting the Nana Addo-led government.
As if there's no tomorrow. Why? Who really stand up here? What do you mean? The youth of this country that you are not working. Now we're intimidating and go. I'll put my life on.
You've taken sides, national organizer, a national figure. You've taken sides already. The National Council, they too are in it. You're on the same side. The MPs on the same side. What is going on? Is it an election or coronation for all you to go on one side to talk as if the rest of us don't have any sense? If you are elected a party official, it doesn't mean you alone owns the party or you alone to run the party as you guys. The action speaks louder than words. His words are not true. That's what I say. They are not true because if you say one thing and you are doing something else, everybody knows what is going on. And the people around you, they read you like that and they act upon it. That is why this situation has gotten worse. If the president speaks up one time about certain things, nobody will be speaking. But he won't say anything. What are we supposed to think? That he's against it when you don't say anything? Galamsey has come back with a vengeance. With a vengeance. You come to your own stronghold and they are hooting at you. That is something wrong. There is something wrong when that happens. If you don't know, the officials, you think you are the only one who has sense in this country. You are the only one who have sense in the party. What is this? So Alan Chamatin is saying that you say nothing is going. What do you want them to do? Nobody will read that. It's pathetic. You understand? They are going to vote. 9 people want to vote in the same venue because it's easier to monitor your own agent, monitor the others if there are any shenanigans going on.
And what Professor Stephen Adjei, this individual has said it. Why is it that Kenneth Agyapong is not dragged to Yoko or OSP or to some police investigative body to undertake this? Dr. Makoba.
You know, Roland.
Yes, sir.
What I said initially is just what my brother is perpetrating. This whole business about allegations, without evidence that don't end anywhere. It's the same thing. He chose to dwell on the fact that NPP people are making accusations against NPP. So then they must be true. Do you want me to tell you NDC people and the allegations they've made against NDC? If you want me to tell you, I can tell you. What Dufour recently, because that one is very recent, what Dufour said in the lead up to the NDC presidential primaries. And he actually resigned. So Alan Kyerematen is not the first person to resign. So if Alan Kyerematen...
You may recuse himself from the race.
No, he resigned from the contest. Now, if Alan Kyerematen going away is evidence of corruption, how about Dufour? Because Dufour also made serious allegations. Beyond Dufour, if you cast your mind back, and you've been in this business for quite a while, so you would know. What Nana Agyemang Rawlings, what she said about her party NDC that made her leave to contest the NDC. Do you want me to repeat them? The Fonka Games. I have the records. I can repeat them if you like. What Kwesi Botwe, when you appointed him to go around and see what caused your defeat, the report that he wrote about the dishonesty and lack of integrity in the government that caused their defeat. You want me to repeat them? I can repeat them. What even J.J. Rawlings said about the NDC. He stood just here and made accusations about how ministers were loading monies, millions and millions, and buying houses. J.J. Rawlings said, this is not that, this is the founder. So if you want us to go on that tangent, we can go on that tangent. It's not a problem. But I'm saying that where does that tangent lead us? My brother Ken is making allegations. How do you get to the bottom?
You think the allegations are spurious?
It's a lot of heat. You can only get light if he would go to Yoko and say that Nana Acumia has stolen money and stash them abroad and provide some evidence. This is some bank account in Honduras. Then I'll be invited. Then we'll be getting to the bottom of it. It seems to me that because we don't pursue these matters, it emboldens people to keep making allegations.
So Ken is one of them.
For all you know, what he's saying is true. But how do we know? We should move the next step and investigate, or he should move to the next step and investigate. Because tomorrow, it could be you, that somebody will be alluding without any evidence, and if you don't follow up, then it just becomes a lot of heat. So it could be me. That's why I'm saying that as for the accusations and counter-accusations, I'm saying we were treated to the story where they say the gold bars of the country have been stolen and stashed abroad. And yet when the people came and they said, yes, you said their gold bars have been stolen, where's the evidence so we can pursue? They said, oh, we're joking. You see? So I am happy that the Ministry of Roads has taken the step and said, Professor Adai says that people take monies kick front, up front. We are not going to take it lying down. We are going to request IOCO to invoke its powers to investigate this matter. So I expect that Professor Adai will now be invited to IOCO, and if he has the evidence, he will present it to them, maybe even in camera, so that people, if it's true that people have been collecting monies up front, they can be investigated and dealt with. That is how we're going to make progress in this fight against corruption. For the larger part of it, it has remained at the level of accusations and counter-accusations, party against party, and even intra-party. NPP people will make allegations and accusations against NPP. NDC people have made accusations. Amidu, what hasn't Amidu said about NDC government?
The former Attorney General and then OSP.
Yes, I can repeat them. But we don't have time. So, coming to tell us that because somebody in NPP had made an allegation, then it's true, then you are just perpetuating the same scenario where allegations are made, no effort is made to investigate, and then it becomes the usual political football. Because there have been serious allegations made against NDC by NDC people. Because we don't have time, I would have read all of them to you, from Kunedu through Guzitanos and all of those people. Didn't they say that the elections that were held, the primaries that were held in NDC, were being manipulated for one person, and that monies were being thrown to delegates and so on? We've talked about the influence of money in politics, haven't we? Is it limited to one party? Is it limited to one party? Because I can give you instances where NDC contestants in NDC elections have made serious allegations about money and bribing of delegates. I can make them. Well, it's a problem. But if you try to tell us that it's limited to one party, then my brother here just playing to the gallery, and he's not going to shed light on the matter.
Don't you think?
Let's hold people to street proof. So, my brother Ken has made this allegation. He says that people have stashed monies abroad illegally.
You think he's blaming Hote?
I don't know. So I would welcome a scenario where we would ask him to take the evidence before a proper investigative body. And Roland, that is when we can get to the bottom of it, whether it is true or not. And if it is true, those people can be identified. And then, look, as for the perception of the deficit, I'm sure if you spoke to President Mahama, he would justify his fight against corruption. If you spoke to President Akufo-Addo, he would tell you about the efforts he's making in the fight against corruption. It's up to us, with evidence, to take it further. So somebody is saying that people in Akufo-Addo's government have, or in the NPP party, have stashed monies abroad. Go to President Akufo-Addo and tell him. Or if you like, go to Iyoko, or go to SHRAG, or go to CID, and go and give them the information, give them the evidence. Then we'll be making progress. And that's why I'm saying I'm happy with this initial effort made by the Ministry of Roads. That Iyoko, please, we've petitioned you, get to the bottom of it. We would cooperate fully. Let Professor Adai come, let him mention names of officials who have engaged in this kick front. And we will let those officials go and be investigated, from the minister right down to the deputy minister, chief director. The statement said we want to cooperate fully. That is how we get to the bottom of these issues.
Right. How do you respond to a couple of individuals on my stream who are saying, for example, Game Boy, and then we have Money Ni Money, Obren Ponkaba, saying all these recollections of perceived corruption, for which, of course, Nana Akomeah does acknowledge had not been proven, were the key reasons why the NDC lost the 2016 election, for which we're given a certain promise that corruption will be dealt with, actually nipped in the bud, and we've been just falling down the line when it comes to the Corruption Perception Index?
I think that Nana Akomeah is being as diplomatic as he can with the facts that are available. One, he's mixing the quest for a need to be able to have a fair contest with necessarily corruption. There are two. Guzitano was unhappy about the fact that there had been a Swedu declaration. In other words, somebody had been given an advantage and there was not going to be a contest. That had nothing to do with corruption. The same applied with the Obatasama scenario. The same applied to a certain extent. There was a contest with Nana Konadu. She was unhappy. She pulled out of the party. So I don't begin to see the analogy in what is happening in the MPP currently.
Oh, let me refresh.
Wait, my brother, you hold fire.
Let me refresh your
mind. Don't refresh my mind. I listen to you.
Severe allegations.
He also mentions Rollins. Rollins even said there were young people who were buying houses.
Please.
They brought stash of cash.
I'm not saying that allegations of corruption.
Even Guzitano, in the 2000 elections.
Nana,
but in the subsequent elections,
you have made your point.
I'm just trying to refresh your memory.
I don't need refreshing. I was there.
I've forgotten your memory.
No, what I forget, I tell you. What I haven't forgotten, I will tell you.
Okay.
So the issue is simple. All this plethora of issues that are being mentioned, taking us back to the year 2000. In 2023.
You think it's equalization?
No, I'm taking it to 2000.
Dufour has not left the NDC.
No. He left the elections and made allegations of manipulation and corruption.
Dufour has not left the party. Because people listening will think that Dufour is no longer a member of... Alan Tremantin has left the MPP. So, there is no comparison between the two. Absolutely none.
I see.
He actually is indicting the whole party. He is not... If you are saying, oh, somebody left a contest because he felt unhappy about the contest, it's one thing. It's another thing for the person to say, I'm not only leaving the contest, I'm leaving your political party.
How about Konadu Rollins?
You understand?
Ask him. How about Konadu Rollins?
So, look, Nana Konedu's issues, I'm not coming to discuss them on air. He cites them, but I'm saying that it's a red herring. Because I am saying that she went for a contest and she lost the contest and decided to form her own political party. That's the issue. Not Alan Tremantin. Alan Tremantin decided that he's not continuing with the contest.
Yes.
He was qualified to contest.
And left the party.
Same as Konedu. Not at all. Totally different. Totally different.
How's it different?
You understand? It's different because the contest was complete and the person took a decision that I'm leaving. In this case, before the contest is complete, he says, what is going on, I will not be part of. So let us be clear.
So you say the two scenarios are
Not the same.
Now let's come to the substance.
Now, thank you. Let's come to the substantive. Regardless of what happened with Nana Konadu, with Good, these are all red herrings.
Before.
If you are saying that you came into 2016 telling the whole world that NDC is corrupt, our processes are corrupt, all this and what has changed? What have you done? And your own people are telling you that you are a failure. There's corruption left, there's corruption right. All the allegations are coming from your own people. NDC hasn't opened its mouth on this. They are not doing the equalization you are doing. NDC shouldn't be able to talk. And it's coming from your house. And the people are telling you that, why, Stephen Adai, since when did he become an MPP, NDC, what's it called, sympathizer? He is talking and saying things that are being said across the board. You heard the other gentleman who spoke, Amwakuba. So how do you then equalize Amwakuba's statement with anything NDC has done? And even if you want to equalize, are we in power? Is NDC in power? Who has the duty? Because he seems to be thinking that opposition have a duty to deal with corruption. Who has the duty to deal with corruption? And that lies firmly in the hands of the government. And your own people in your government are telling you are corrupt and you are not dealing with corruption. And all of a sudden you are doing equalization about things that happened in the past. And the equalization is not even fair equalization. It isn't. So I'm clear in my mind. Look, people are saying, when the scandals, two of them came, they were sent to CID.
Which scandals?
The Galamsey or which one?
I'll get it for you. There are two issues that were raised in. It went to CID.
The PPA one or which one?
There are a
number of allegations.
Two main scandals took place.
There's the busts. There's which?
You know they have a plethora. So let me be specific. There were two. They went to CID. I think it was the Australian visa scandal, and then there's a second one. I'll get to you. And they were clear. Why having this one also? Why Yoku? I want them to explain which goes to Yoku, which goes to CID. Because people are making allegations now about the people who head these organizations. They are making allegations.
Yoku is headed by Tiwado Dankwa. He's a commissioner of
police. Said so. And who headed?
That's true.
So why did it go to the CID? When these things went to the CID, who headed it? And now it's going to Yoku, who's heading it.
So you're saying what?
This is the issue of
they just go there and they are cleared.
That is the point people are making. So let us be clear in our minds that all these things that are happening, NDC has no hand in it. The MPP should solve their problem and stop pointing at MPP, at NDC. We have no issue in these matters. You came on the fact that John Mahama is incompetent and corrupt. Here we are. You haven't been able to demonstrate to anybody. People went to, now people are apologizing. Oh, you know, this story we told about you having houses here and there is not true.
It's supposed to be a hotel.
Which doesn't exist.
In Dubai.
It doesn't exist. The people have come.
Some foreign accounts.
It doesn't exist. So all these issues are there. And I also do a plethora. But that is not what we are here today. Today, you have a government in power who is responsible for dealing with corruption. Its senior members are telling all of us that they are not capable of handling it and we are corrupt. You have MPs coming up saying that we have enough dollars, we will pay people. You have all, if we want to go through, we need a whole day to go through the boss scandal, this scandal, none of which see the light of day. So I'm clear, without going into every single detail, that it's Nana Komia, my brother, is doing red herring type politics, trying to deviate attention from this issue of it has happened in the MP. Okay, even given, let me allow him, given that NDC has even done these things, let me ask a question. Did we win election in 2016? What story did you come and tell Ghanaians to win election?
What's the point with that?
The point is that they have failed. and they have not dealt with the main issue of Ghanaians, which is corruption. And their own people are telling us that they are even more corrupt. The road minister himself, who has taken this into, he told us that his ministry is full of thieves. Or isn't that what was it? He said that his ministry
Oliver,
is full of thieves.
do you have that tape? But I also know from hand that Professor Frimpong Boateng,
Yes.
Arthur Kennedy, and then Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo have also raised key issues. Now, how do we put
The bribery case with A+.
You see,
You understand? That was investigated. All those two went to CID.
you see, the Roland.
Yes, sir.
When you tell my brother that, as for accusations, whether NPP against NDC or vice versa, or NPP against NPP or NDC against NPP, that's what we have on our hands.
But you don't think these are of serious matters coming from individual Professor Frimpong Boateng,
Listen.
Dr. Nyaho
Listen,
Tamaklo, Kennedy
if
Japan,
you tell me that
Arthur Kennedy
has said there's corruption and is prepared to give evidence. Arthur Kennedy, if he says there's corruption and he wants to help us solve it, why won't he go to Yoko? Now, my brother,
Mr.
I say,
Kumia, that's the problem, right? Individuals will have
but
to.
you see, that
Individuals
is the
go through
problem.
the institutions, they'll be cleared.
No. You are buying his propaganda.
No, I'm not buying.
No. Hold on a second.
There's
buying
not.
you are buying his
No.
propaganda. Who went through the institution and was cleared? You mean the institutions are shoddy?
I have not
Yoko
said
is
that.
shoddy?
They come out clean.
That's what you are imputing. That the institutions
come out clean.
whitewash them. Is that what you are saying?
They come out clean.
So they've been whitewashed?
They come out clean.
They've gone through the process? You yourself gave the example of the PPA man. You yourself just now. So right there, you've given an instance of where somebody went through the process and it's been found culpable. So how can you say that people have been whitewashed? You've given a contradictory example.
I have not.
And then you hear him saying that Yoko Boss was appointed by the president. Is that what he's saying? So they
I didn't say that.
That's what you implied.
I didn't imply
Because
that.
you mentioned appointment. You said who appointed them. Okay. The Shrag boss
I didn't.
was appointed by the NDC. So, as a responsible citizen, petition Shrag about this allegation. You see, what you've done is that if somebody then goes to Shrag, they will say, but the NDC appointed Shrag. You've politicized the whole debate. That's what you've done. You see?
How
You see
so?
I think he missed my
Because he said that he made reference to who's heading, who appointed them.
I made
What was the import of
the
what you
import
said?
of that
You were here.
statement was that the same person who was heading CID, who certain things were sent to, now that the similar things have come, instead of you to send it to the CID where you had sent it before, you are sending it to Yoko.
And so you don't know where and who.
Are you sending it because of who is the head, or are you sending it because this is the right?
So that's what you're implying.
That's the point I'm making.
So I'm saying that if you've now brought who is the head and who appointed him or her, yeah, okay. Who appointed the Shrag boss? NDC. So you, as a responsible citizen, go and petition Shrag. Yes, so that we can have clarity. Now, if you move away from this, a red herring, the important thing that is of interest to the public is that when allegations are made, Roland, as the media, hold the people to strict proof. Challenge Amwakumba that you said so. Please, where is the proof so that we can use it to petition Shrag? Or we can use it to petition CID? Kennedy Japan is saying so. Hold him to street proof. And if he's able to give you the evidence.
You think they're lying?
I haven't said so. I've said I'm looking for the evidence. You see?
Kennedy Japan, he's lying.
Who has said so? We say, where is the evidence? And if the evidence is available, let it be put before the right institutions. You see, and you, the media, you can help us in these fights when you hold people to street proof.
Don't we?
You don't. You haven't.
If you have a key member like Kennedy Japan come to make key statements.
And
is
so
an
you
answer.
hold him to street proof.
No,
you just don't take the statements.
You have him confirm that he takes bulk cash from the chief of staff to make sure that he's able to lodge into an account of a member of parliament who is not domiciled in the country.
And you find that improper. So
it means that cash is moving around, ball cash.
You find that improper. What do? Let's petition SHRAG and say that this member of parliament has made these allegations that he went and took some money to go and do something that is improper. You want SHRAG to investigate. My brother here, the opposition is supposed to hold the government's feet to accountability.
And the government comes on the back of a promise that it will rid the society of corruption.
Yeah, but we are saying that the government hasn't done well,
but I think
in our opinion.
It's not an opinion.
No.
We have published indexes that are indicating that we're falling down the pecking order.
I'm saying that. So move to the next step, like the Ministry of Roads has done. Don't just leave it at allegation stage. Move to the next step. Say to Yoko, or if my brother doesn't like Yoko, so let's go to SHRAG. Say to SHRAG that this allegation that some monies have been taken from here and put in is improper. And so I'm petitioning you to investigate. Roland, then we'll be making progress.
Mr. Akpenya, let me ask you this.
Don't you agree?
No, I don't agree. On a scale,
don't agree that
I don't agree.
You should just leave
Mr.
it like
Akpenya,
it is.
on a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate the Akufo-Addo government of having rid the country of corruption? 0 to 10.
Me personally. You mean me personally?
Then you are here, so I'm asking you the question.
Me personally. I'm a part of the government. So you would say that I'm not neutral. How do you rate it?
The question was given to you. I've answered with the question.
No. How do you rate it?
Nana Akufo-Addo has failed to...
You are the media. Listen, you are the media.
Gaiji, good morning to you. You are watching from the US.
How do you rate it?
It says, did Nana Akufo-Addo and Yoko hold the road minister to strict proof? And we have a number of individuals as well.
What do Yoko to strict proof?
And then, did you hear Kenny Japan saying, dare me, and I'll provide the evidence? Has anybody in government gone ahead to do that?
Roland.
Not yet.
Roland.
Let me read a couple of messages.
No. If you have evidence of corruption and you want us to fight it, we have to dare you before. Roland.
I have this one from Chris from Ashaliboche. He says Professor Ade has spoken at the right time.
Because
President Nana can no longer hide under the umbrella of incorruptibility. Well,
you have to be dead.
And then also, you say, thank you for the panelists today. They're very good. Please kindly ask Nana Akufo-Addo, why is it that anybody who talks about corruption is invited to answer questions and come with evidence, whilst at the same time, the allegations keep flying around? All right.
Others, how do you get to the bottom of it?
Sampi Yale sent me now messages as well. It says in 2016, a lot of baselite accusations were leveled against Mahama. I think that's what Nana Akufo-Addo is saying. He said they said Mahama had built a hotel in Dubai. I said that. The chief proponent was Nana Akufo-Addo. Did you say something? Sampi Yale.
He has forgotten.
It's just been mischievous.
I'm told that Mr.
You see, Roland, but that's what I'm saying.
Mr. Micah
Don't leave it at allegations. Take it forward.
Right.
Then we can get to the bottom. That's my simple point.
Right.
And I'm happy that
I have a confession
today.
My confession is that
that's why I'm happy that today this matter is going to be brought before Yoko. So will now be Adai will be invited, whether camera or open. He would have to give them, because he says he has information. He has to give us 2-3 names so that proper investigation. That is the way
it should go.
To go.
Okay.
And if we all go that way, I can tell you, this fight against corruption will be much more successful.
Money need money. Money says.
When you reduce it to
please tell Mr. Akufo-Addo we are tired of equalization.
Yes.
NDC was not voted out for them to come and stop corruption. Okay, NDC was voted out for them to come and stop the corruption they claimed the NDC was undertaking. Malik Adama says, after listening to Mr. Akufo-Addo, I understood why the MPP failed and is undertaking a lot of equalization.
Roland, can I just make one point? What does that mean? Roland, can I make a point?
Yes, please.
A simple one. Look, the confession I have to make is that we are overwhelmed with the rates at which we have to deal with their issues. The moment you deal with one in 1 week, within a week or two.
I don't understand. You mean one week, one corruption?
Now you are getting close.
No, that's why you claim that every week
there's a scandal a day.
Roland,
therefore, if
there's a scandal a week, how long will it take you to go to track?
We can't keep up.
Good question.
Why?
How long will it take you to go to track?
What do you mean how long?
Wisdom Lechu says the road minister himself confirmed on television saying there are corrupt officials and thieves in his ministry. Let's do cash out. Please, have you heard of cash out?
No. What is it?
Okay, it goes with a short code. It's to make sure that we give relief to our disaster victims. So it goes with a short code *439#. So let's do the draw. Okay, so 321-05349. Okay, so is a number. So 0534391 is the number. Can we do the second one? Okay, we're taking a break. Are we doing the second issue or we're just... Okay. Okay. All right. All right. And then George Alote says, please let all delegates of the MPP know that DMB will surely win the primaries hands down. Which of them are you supporting?
Bawumia.
Dr. Bawumia. Dr. Bawumia, it is possible 2024.
You have to come on board.
No,
Which government official is not supporting
the delegates will decide.
How many of them?
Yes. I'm saying
about 90% or 95% of government officials support Bawumia.
And why do they support Bawumia? That's the question you should be asking.
You're asking in the Japan.
No, you can ask me, because I'm an official. You can ask me.
No. Okay, so we have the winner on. Good morning to you. Where are you talking to us from? Good morning. Good morning.
What does he want?
He's won cash into his mobile money account.
Oh, okay.
Good morning.
We can go.
Hello, good morning to you. Good morning. All right. Well, again, let me just inform you that Media General and 3 Foundation were officially mobilizing supplies and items as well as cash. Well, so just in case you have the items, you can go to any of our subsidiaries. We have Akuma FM in Kumasi, Connect FM is in the Western Regional Capital, Takoradi. And right here in Accra, you can always come to our offices. We're just adjacent the Jubilee House, or what we call the Presidential Drive. And then make sure your contributions coming for the victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage. We have the winner on. Good morning to you. What's your name?
Achu from Tema.
Hello?
Achu from Tema.
Oh, Miss Achu, how much did you win this morning?
1,000.
Oh, 1,000 Ghana cedis. Please make sure you contribute some to our disaster fund so that we can give some relief to the victims of the Akosombo spillage.
I hear you. I'm listening to you, but I'm watching on the telly.
Okay, Achu. Have a great time. Alhaji Hamza, you say that Mr. Akobia, kindly find out from Mr. Akobia the state of the electric buses he spoke about. Oh, do you have electric buses?
We're hoping to acquire some early next year.
Okay. Alhaji Hamza, that's your response. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more. We've had Mr. Ale Segbefia right here in the studio and Nana Akobia. And Mr. Akobia, thank you for passing through the studios this morning.
It's my pleasure.
All right. We're taking a break. We'll be back with the latest.